Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today we begin yet another full album experience here on the channel. This is Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. Track number 1. Dancing with the Moonlit Knight. So for those of you not familiar with how we do the full albums here on the channel, I don't do the entire album in one sitting. I do one track at a time with a couple of days in between each track. And then I go back and listen to the previous ones and work it all in. So for this album, I've already reacted to Firth of Fifth. So please feel free to watch that reaction. It already exists on the channel. And so when I get to that one, I believe it is, I'm looking at my list, it's the 3rd track on the album. So it's coming up here pretty soon. I am going to do a deep dive with this one. I've been wanting to do it for a while, so this is the perfect opportunity. And then I also get to learn about it in its context. I'm super excited. Some of these tracks also will be posted publicly on the channel. Others will just exist on Patreon and for channel members only. And of course, all of these reactions are posted on Fridays for full album Fridays. Okay, and if there's anyone here who has never seen one of my reactions before, if this is your first one, then let me say that I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So in these reactions, we dive into all of the musical details, the composition, the instrumentation, theory, form and analysis, maybe some instrument demos, and of course, how do we relate to this music? Why do we like it? Or maybe why do we not like it? So those are all the details for now on how this all works. Now let's dive into the music. No more delay. Let's listen. Okay, we are ready for this album. Here we go.
Can you tell me where my country lies? Said the unicorn to his true love's eyes. It lies with me, cried the Queen of Maybe. For her merchandise, he traded in his prize. Paper late, cried a voice in the crowd. Old man dies, the note he left was signed Old Father Thames. It seems he's drowned. Selling England by the pound. Citizens of hope and glory, time goes by. It's the time of your life. Easy now, sit you down, chewing through your wimpy dreams. They eat without a sound. Digesting England by the pound.
Okay, we've sort of come full circle here. I'm hearing some of the opening material here. Okay, so again, I've already heard Firth of Fifth, and I've also become very familiar with prog music in general here on the channel. And so now I feel like I have the chance to really get to know the aesthetic of Genesis. Some of you also already know that I'm a kid of the 80s, so I did get into some popular music towards the end of the 80s and into the early 90s. And so I knew of Genesis and of Phil Collins, but the Genesis and Phil Collins that I ever heard, especially in the 80s, was very different from this. So I've always kind of been confused. Like when I started the channel, I was like, Genesis? Okay. And then I was like, when did they start as a band? So this album is from 1973. And it was one of the bands that I sort of heard kind of more early on in my prog rock experience here on the channel. So I do sort of already associate them with that style, but I have experienced so much in that genre of music since then that I can clearly start to notice a distinct style, all their own, that aesthetic. So I'm really wanting to solidify that here. I think I'm already off on the right foot. So there is sort of a folk tune sort of feel to this, like English folk music, sort of a Renaissance era sort of sound, almost early music, pre-Renaissance, and I'm talking now in classical music terms, the different eras that we have. And so this is more like a royal court kind of music, or the peasant music. It's very English to me, even though I know it was in other countries too, but there's that feel. So I'm hearing recorders, instruments that are sort of sounding more ancient, or at least Renaissance, like lutes and lyres. And I'm also hearing harpsichords and things, but that's sort of more Baroque. Renaissance is a little bit early for that. But at the same time, there's just this feel that's there to this music. And then, of course, there's the whole thing with all the time signatures. So we have like the random chords that come in, and I don't know how these guys do this. Like with sheet music, you have to really be counting and everything, but they just have to have it all memorized, and they have to nail each entrance. This is something definitely worth seeing done live at some point. Okay, so it's super traditional, like old music, but at the same time, it's a new spin on it. But at the same time, this is already 50 years ago, so it's already not so new. Okay, and of course we'll get to some lyrics, but for now, let's back it up a little so we can get into this recap sort of the beginning. You know, what's the form of this going to be? With Firth of Fifth, that's hard to say, Firth of Fifth, there were just so many different sections, and that's kind of what I've come to expect from this group. So, all right, let's hear how it keeps going.
By the bound, young man says you are what you eat well. Old man says you are what you wear. Well, you know what you are, you don't give a damn. Bursting your belt, that is your homemade sham. The captain leads his dance right out through the night. Join the dance, follow on till the gray of sunset sees them all. Follow on till the gold is cold, dancing out with the moonlit night. Knights in the green shields down and shout.
Okay, I gotta stop that there. I need to back that new spot there. I know it's all part of the fast part, but I have to back it up and hear the part where the choir came in again, at least that loud. I heard him a little bit before. Okay. Well, what kind of a dance is this? This is like a mosh pit. Okay. So obviously there's a play on Moonlight Knight, as in Knight, as opposed to nighttime. So is this like a knight fighting in battle? I don't know. I feel like I'm picturing the battle armor and maybe the light of the moon like reflecting off of the metal, the armor, as they're in battle. But this went from Renaissance to heavy metal, just like that. And I would expect nothing less from Genesis. There were a couple of really cool sounds in this. I know that this was an age here for really experimenting with different sounds that were not acoustic, essentially. But then also they still had all these acoustic instruments that were plugged into amps, yes, but you know what I mean by, acoustical instruments. And they're sort of manipulating the sounds of those instruments to create the combination with other keyboard sounds and synthesizer sounds and pedals. Those pedals are so great. That had to have been what came in there at some point. But all these combinations, just so many new flavors. And once again, it's all very delicious. So, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to back this up. Like I said, I want to hear that last little bit of a transition here where something changed. It's still fast, but something changed slightly. And then a big choir sound came in. So cool. All right, here we go.
There's a fat old lady outside the saloon, laying out the credit card. She plays for tune. The deck is uneven right from the start, and all of their hands are playing a part. Captain leads his dance right out through the night. Join the dance, follow on, a round table talking down we go. You're the show, off we go with you. Play the hobby horse, I play the fool. We'll tease the bull, ringing round and round, round and round. Follow on, with a twist of the world we go. Follow on, till the gold is cold. Dancing out with the moonlit night. Knights of the green fields down and shout.
Okay, whew. We got to some relief there. Ooh, things were kind of not so great for a while. I mean, great music, but just like maybe the battle wasn't going in their favor for a little bit. Some of those chords were pretty crunchy and ominous sounding. Okay. The sounds, all the different sounds in this. What in the world? So the sound that I was attributing to a choir was not really a choir. It was some kind of keyboard sound, but it sounded like a reproduced distant choir sound. I don't know how, but it just did. And it was really cool. And then it just seemed like, now I can't remember if it morphed into other things or if there were other things layered in and then it handed it off. I can't even keep track. So that is one thing. Again, all these different sections. It's really hard sometimes to keep up with Genesis songs, at least in this era of their music. But that's the fun in it. It's a good challenge. If you're not careful, you can get lost. And I actually believe that this is kind of also an issue with classical music in general. This music can be very demanding, the way Genesis is writing these songs. It's very disjunct. There are some themes that come back, but sometimes in one sitting you can't completely wrap your consciousness around the entire idea. And there's nothing wrong with composing music like that. It doesn't fit in well with, the pop standard of the 3 to 4 minute long song that they want to play on radio stations, but it does take a while to let some of these things sink in. And that happens a lot with classical music. In fact, it's way longer than a lot of these tracks are. How long is this one? Like 9 minutes? If you've got a symphony that's an hour and 15 minutes long, like you can divide it into 4 movements, 4 different sections, but it's still easy to get lost. So until you get familiar with them, then you can't transition over into the other kind of lost, where you get lost in the music. There has to be that certain amount of familiarity there with it. So, with this, am I enjoying it this first time through? And the answer is yes, I am. And part of it is because I'm able to stop and think about what I just heard. And again, don't worry. I always go back and listen to the entire song all the way through when I'm done with these reactions. Always. So I will get that experience. But for now, all these different sounds and the shifts. And I kept thinking, oh no, we're in a steady beat. Oh wait, maybe we're not. And it's just, okay. And the lyrics, I haven't gotten there yet. I heard something about a hobby horse. I'm not sure what else I've heard. All right, we'll get there. Okay, so again, we're coming to a moment of reprieve, of relief, of sunshine coming out from behind the clouds. Let's back up and get into this last section. I don't know. With Genesis, I don't know. We could have 4 or 5 more sections still coming up. Let's see. Okay. Well, that didn't go where I thought it was going to go. I mean, it was a nice ending, so I figured that at least would happen, but the place where it went was really beautiful. Like, I didn't think it was going someplace ugly either. It was just a really beautiful ending. So delicate. And yet, when it was giving sort of the illusion of safety after all of that battle, there was still something kind of amorphous about it. The crescendo and decrescendo motion, getting louder and getting softer. There was sort of an asymmetrical pulse just with that. And then, of course, all the sound effects coming through. All the different percussion I heard. Finger cymbals, I heard a little triangle, and just little rumblings in the background. And then with the harp, and there were some other sort of keyboard sounds worked in there. It was soothing, but it was kind of like extra dreamy. So to me, the story with this is the existence of an actual knight, like in armor, in shining armor. And they're sort of just living their life and minding their own business, and then they wind up in a battle of sorts. And it was kind of a lengthy battle. It got kind of messy there for a while. But then it concluded, and I believe that this knight was the winner of that battle. And so was the end there him being able to rest, and that was his dreams? Or was it now that the battle is over that he gets to dance and be light and happy? Is it from the point of view of the knight, or from someone else living life alongside or with this knight, observing the knight? What does the knight represent? The moonlight is obviously very important. And then what is the motion of the dancing? Let's take a look at the lyrics to see. "Can you tell me where my country lies?" said the Unifaun to his true love's eyes. "It lies with me," cried the Queen of Maybe. For her merchandise he traded in his prize. "Paper late," cried a voice in the crowd. Old man dies. The note he left was signed, Old Father Thames. It seems he's drowned, selling England by the pound. Okay, so the namesake of the album is in this song right there. I think I did hear that. Yeah, okay. Yes, okay. Selling England by the pound. It seems he's drowned. So is someone not living up to their own self-worth, or are they selling out, basically? And we're talking about the country. Oh, citizens. So the next verse, citizens of hope and glory. Time goes by. It's the time of your life. Easy now. Sit you down. Chewing through your wimpy dreams. They eat without a sound, digesting England by the pound. So time goes by, but you need to make sure and sit down and appreciate it. But digesting England by the pound? This doesn't seem like positive stuff, like good stuff. Okay, young man says, you are what you eat, eat well. Old man says, you are what you wear, wear well. Okay, you know what you are, you don't give a damn. Bursting your belt, that is your homemade sham. Is this like a let them eat cake moment? Or, I don't know, when you finally get old enough, you can just eat whatever you want? Wear whatever you want? I don't know. Okay, the captain leads his dance right on through the night. Join the dance. Follow on till the gold is cold. All right, these lyrics are not the most straightforward. You have to really kind of read between the lines here. They're very creative, somewhat poetic, a little secretive. So what secrets are we going to find here? Dancing out with the moonlit night. Knights of the green shield stamp and shout. Okay, so we definitely were hearing that. The knights were jumping around. Okay. In the moonlight, with all of the reflection off of the metal. There's a fat old lady outside the saloon, laying out the credit cards. She plays fortune. Fortune with credit cards? The deck is uneven right from the start, and all of their hands are playing a part. Is this the disparity of wealth? Class wars here? Captain leads his dance right on. Through the night, join the dance. Follow on, a round table talking, down we go. You're the show, off we go. You play the hobby horse. I heard that. I'll play the fool. We'll tease the bull. Ringing round and loud, loud and round. What's the bull? I'm thinking money at this point, like classes. And so, like I know with US Wall Street has the bull, the statue. So is that more reference to finance, to the upper classes? Follow on with a twist of the world we go. Follow on till the gold is cold. Gold as in money. That money isn't everything. Dancing out with the moonlit night. Knights of the green shield. Stamp and shout. The green shield. All right, so I feel like this is very much related to a specific culture and country. Like, I kind of knew that, England, pound. But this track really is. And I know we have knights, the knights, in shining armor, knighthood coming from England, the monarchy. But this, it seems like there's some disparity here. People are being deceived here. And so with the song itself, it starts out very kind of happy, innocent, then it gets kind of ugly, and then it returns to even more of a state of innocence. Well, there are some phrases in here that I'm not catching on to, but again, it might just be a cultural thing for where the band is from, and that's okay. If you happen to know what some of that is that I'm not catching on, let me know. I think there are lots of hidden little messages in the lyrics here. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning and hear where we started. Where did the story begin? I kind of feel like it is like someone's life, and we've got the innocence of childhood, and you're just sort of learning lessons in life here. Let's hear what some of those things were.
Can you tell me where my country lies? Said the uniform to his true love's
This a cappella
eyes. It
little section is
lies
interesting.
with me, cried the queen of maybe, for her merchandise he traded in his prize.
Right,
They
so
were late, cried a voice.
So what I was remembering from the beginning is that it was a lot of guitars, whereas at the end it was this harp that was on display. So who's playing the harp in this group? Is that a harp? It sounds like a harp. But with all these guitars, it's still meant to sound like Renaissance or early music, like medieval music. In fact, I do think it's more medieval rather than Renaissance. Renaissance might already be too organized and modern for what they're going for. I just picture the musicians in a royal court playing this, but then there are sounds that come in later that are more like the sounds of peasant life and peasant celebrations and music. Let's just keep going.
In the crowd.
See, what is that?
Old man
So many
dies,
interesting
the note he
noises.
left was signed
Sound
for
effects.
Father Thames. It seems he's drowned, selling England by the pound. Cities
Okay, so then the piano comes in, but right before it is that lovely little guitar. Yum, bum, 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 bum. It's really, really beautiful. I'm trying to remember how much of that comes back in later. I know that there are often motifs that are used over and over again. Sometimes light motifs, just like little hints of things that are used throughout in these grand works by Genesis. But sometimes they're presented in such different ways that you have to really work hard to catch them. So I caught that one there. Loved the entrance of the piano. I love how they always use those bass notes in the piano. Let's hear the entrance of that again. It was really cool.
Citizens of hope and glory.
So things are getting serious.
Time goes by. It's the time of your life.
Yes. Okay, the innocence of youth there, but things are a little bit more serious, not quite as innocent as childhood, early childhood. And it's almost like when there was just the voice there, that was like infancy. Well, how does this life continue on then, if I'm looking at it this way? Well, let's move on ahead a little bit. There were some interesting things that came about. Let's find one.
Join the dance, follow on, till the gray of sunset sees them all. Follow on till the gold is cold, dancing out with the moonlit night. Knights in the green shields down and shout.
There. What in the world? It's just like heavy metal with it. The cymbal in the back with the percussion. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. So that weird guitar sound, is that the official term? The weird guitar sound. It was like almost harmonics where you don't press all the way down on the string. And so it gives lots of overtones along with the actual note. And it went up with arpeggios and then all the way back down to that low note there. This is a guitar doing that, right? I want to hear that again. It was so cool. So great. Okay. That, right? Yeah. That's a great spot. That's a great spot. It's almost like a little guitar solo there. Oh, it's great. Okay. Well, I mean, the whole thing kind of was a guitar solo, but you know, that's like the height of it there. Really, really good. But I kind of like all of the different sounds that were happening before that too. Like that might end up being my favorite part of this section. So this to me absolutely is like a battle, but it seems like it's kind of going well. Like there's sort of like a slipping and sliding around. But you never lose your footing. You're always standing upright and seemingly being successful and moving forward. So I feel like this is maybe early adulthood where there are lots of challenges and you learn lots of lessons, but you're having such a good time and enjoying what you're doing, hopefully, and you can just be inspired to keep going. So in a little bit, it kind of felt like it slowed down. It slowed down, but it was like really sitting back without actually slowing down, if that makes sense. Let's see if I can find this spot. Oh, there's that choir sound. Love that.
There's a fat old lady outside the saloon.
I keep thinking it's slowing down, but then it doesn't. See that delay there? It seems like it's delayed, right? You're taking a breath, but then it goes on. Okay, so yeah, there's a weird illusion there of things slowing down. Is this person in their life maybe hitting a spot of boredom? Maybe they're tired of their job. They need a career switch, a new path. Okay, whatever it is, it's just really, really cool. I do also have to admit, and I did say this with Firth of Fifth, is that there are moments in there that remind me of Radiohead. That choir sound, they use that. For instance, I know Radiohead's album OK Computer, it's one of my favorites. They use that in a couple of their tracks. Is it maybe The Tourist that does that? I don't know. It's within the last 2 or 3 tracks on the album of OK Computer. I know that that sound is going to be there somewhere. Okay, let's move on because we had some more cool stuff happening here. I'm just going to forward a little bit because I know something happened around here. Let's remember what it is.
Is cold, dancing out with a moonlit night. Nights in the green fields down and shout.
Okay, the heavy metal came back in. Aha, that's what it was. What? It sounds like brass or something. Whoa! Nice little grand pause there. Okay. Excellent solo. Okay. Now it almost sounds like a sitar. Whoa. Whoa. Very dissonant. That's really cool. That little organ thing. So these won't necessarily be quite the right notes, but there was this little toss back and forth. That's just a really cool way to show conflict. It's a really cool display of conflict, like the musical translation to conflict. And then it changes. Victory. We've got some nice open jazz chords there. Arpeggios. And some brush on the cymbals. On the flute. So that's Peter Gabriel, right? Okay. Was that a violin in there going whoop, whoop, whoop? I don't know, but here is this harp sound with other little weird noises in the background. Sounds like weird muffled strings in the background. Okay, and here's a crescendo. And then what? What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. Okay. And here we go again. Oh, okay, okay. The finger cymbals in there. All of that stuff, very, very cool. It's so aimless, but again, you're just so happy to be there, feeling safe like this again and happy that you don't care. So is it a dream? Is this life winding down? Has life already ended and this is like the, ascent into the the afterlife? Well, there seem to be so many different interpretations within this. Are all of them right? Are any of them right? I don't know. Okay, but you know what? That's the Genesis experience sometimes. Okay, that was track number 1, Dancing with the Moonlight Knight. And was I saying Moonlit Knight before? I might have been. Well, that's okay. It's okay to be okay. You don't have to be perfect, right? So, Dancing with the Moonlight Knight. And I still can't decide if it's about like class warfare, or is it a depiction of someone's life, or maybe both? But then there seems to be this battle that takes place and how it resolves in the end. And the innocence leading up to it, I just can't help but really have that stand out in my mind. All of the instrumentation in this is fantastic. I love the use of the guitars. They brought in the harp, the flute, all the percussion. There must be an entire, percussion universe with all of the instruments. Kind of reminds me of Rush. And then, of course, that's Phil Collins on the drums. So excellent work there, of course. So then I'm assuming that's Peter Gabriel singing. And again, I may have said this before that I didn't realize, like in like Firth the Fifth, and also like Ripples, we did that here on the channel. And I know that that's when Peter Gabriel had exited. But I honestly didn't, I knew kind of who Peter Gabriel was from the 80s. I remember him doing, I can't remember the name of it now. Like Sledgehammer, yeah. And there was a video where it was stop motion. He had a bunch of fruit or something. So I know he's really, really creative. And I still have not gotten into his solo music yet, of his solo career. But I'm starting to perhaps imagine what his contribution is to this group. And so that is him singing, I think, most of the lyrics, if not all. I think it's really interesting how there's sort of a lighter use of the voice, and then someone, the vocalist digs in and is like really over pronouncing all of the words. It's almost like a caricature of lyrics in a song. So the namesake of the album was in this song, okay? The aesthetic was really, really cool. So many different sounds. And I know there's still stuff that I've got to go back and listen to this again. And yes, will I be listening to this a lot? I mean, I do for the full album reactions here. I'll re-listen to the first track before I get to the second track and so on and so forth. But I just am already craving it. I already want to go back and listen to the whole thing and see what else I can remember and what else I can catch. And so will there be any continuous use of some of these motifs and the different instruments? I mean, I can recognize just a couple of things that I may have heard in Firth the Fifth. It's been a while since I've heard Firth the Fifth. So I can't wait to go back to that one. And again, hopefully do a deep dive with it. But we have the next track to get through first. So for now, thanks for joining me on this one. This is an excellent start to this journey with this album. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.